Hello, Speed Gaming Live. Welcome to the Mystic Quest Randomizer Tournament for 2023. My name is Hebbings, and I am joined in the booth tonight by one of our senior competitors of the Mystic Quest Randomizer, Sir Linkalot. Linkalot, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. I still have a couple of matches to go in the tournament, but we are now in round 8, getting on to our second set of matches for the tournament here. Definitely going to have a good showing tonight with therpgchick and fcoughlin.
Yeah, should be a really good race. Our first race of the round of 8 in this tournament. So we're kicking it off with a bang. So this should be a good one.
Yeah, for sure. And so while we go ahead and get set up here, Link, could you go ahead and do us the honors of going through our flag sets to remind anybody or inform anybody who's just joining the tournament?
Yeah, so flag sets haven't changed from last week, but we'll go over them. We've got standard logic. We've got NPCs and battlefields are prioritized for major items, as well as the sky coin is not going to be in a chest anywhere. You get it by saving all of the crystals. And then all the brown boxes are shuffled as well. So if it's not on a priority check, it could be anywhere else in the world that's not locked behind something. Other than that, we've got enemy scaling 50% to 125%. Bosses are going to be guaranteed at least at 100% of their stats, but they could go all the way up to 150%. And we've got simple shuffle for enemizer attacks. And then Doom Castle, we don't care about anything except the Dark King. We get the Sky Coin, we go beat Dark King or have fun with them.
Yeah, all the refight dungeons have been removed. There's just a staircase straight to the final boss. Not even refights are standing in your way in this tournament. As soon as you get that boat, you are in go mode. So wanted to go ahead and iterate a little bit on the enemy shuffle randomizer that we have going on for the tournament. Essentially, what the simple shuffle enemy randomization does is it takes all the enemies' attacks, puts them in a pool, and shuffles them amongst each other. Not including the Dark King's attacks. His attacks will all still be vanilla. And for those who are curious about why are we talking about the Dark King, he's just a throwaway fight. All major glitches have been patched out of this randomizer. So Dark King, you have to fight legitimately. There is no skipping him.
Yeah, and he's not a joke in the regular game. If you don't use the Cure Overflow, he definitely isn't in this one when he can roll even higher than what his normal stats are. He's not friendly.
Yeah, every single boss phase can roll independently in that bracket between 100 to 150%. So all 4 phases of Dark King can roll up to 150% HP value, making him an extra thick boy. It is a terrible time to fight through.
Yes, he has many C's thick, not just the 2 or C3s thick. He starts getting those 4 and 5 C's.
Yeah, the original Gilgamesh does not take kindly to us fighting him at all.
No, he is not he's not kind of a joke. I mean, Gilgamesh himself isn't a joke, but he sometimes plays like he is a joke. But
yeah, for sure. So tonight, again, we're having the therpgchick versus fcoughlin, both very prominent runners in the community, if you would say, and I think both very skilled. I had the pleasure of racing against the therpgchick at RPG Limit Break, where she took the victory. Any words or thoughts about our runners tonight? I know fcoghlin's pretty new to the community.
He's new to Mystic Quest, but he's definitely not new to randomizers. He plays almost every randomizer I can think of. Link to the Past. I know he plays Worlds Collide, Final Fantasy 1, Zelda 1. We are off, though, so level 4. So we've got at least one check behind the axe, though, and then we've got another one. Let's see. Old Man is going to give Cat Claw.
And fire. So nothing great out of those chests. Cat Claw is going to give our runners a little bit of overworld mobility, though, so they are going to be able to dive into the dungeons and climb up walls where needed. It is going to open up access for a lot of other good checks. I feel like getting Claw Gate, it's one of the worst item gates that you can get.
I don't know. I feel like Bomb is almost worse than Claw at some points, just because of where bombs are and how many things are completely behind bombs that are like halfway through a dungeon. It feels really bad to have to double dip some of those things.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, both are very bad. Axe and sword aren't too bad. The only thing our runners need for go mode weapon wise in the run is any sword, and I guess we should go over go mode. We never talked about the items. For go mode this tournament, our runners will need any axe, any sword, dragon claw, mega grenades, the thunder rock, captain's cap, Mobius crest, Any access they can use to get to Windio, so either the multi-key plus Mobius Crest or the Sun Coin. And then, of course, the final item they'll need for Goad Mode is the Sky Coin, which they'll get from killing the last major boss.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Both of our runners here diving a battleground. What color was this battleground?
It was a money battleground. Only 2, so definitely, you know, get some little experience, and you get 900 GP, which is pretty much all the money you need for the items that you might provide.
Yeah, very nice, although getting some terrible luck on the enemy attack rolls. rpgchick opting to use Tristan as he should be used as a meat shield, making light work of that battleground. Freddy getting lucky on his run-throughs, already making his way to the Bone Dungeon there. 900 GP is going to set up our run is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the 3 vendors. They are NPCs, so they're prioritized, so we know we're getting some kind of major item on them. Not necessarily something you really need. Like if you see Quake, you're not going to buy Quake.
No.
Possible. We've got a sand coin from Tristan.
Yep, and Freddy opts to go ahead and dip at a Bone Dungeon, one of my favorite strats. I do not like taking on Rex with Tristan 1. It's not a fun time. I'd rather come back and just life him to death with literally any other partner besides Kaylee 1.
Yeah, it's not terrible. Like if for whatever reason you get, you know, an early like Mega Grenade, Excalibur, Giant Stacks, he's not as bad then, but going in with Cat Claw Bomb and Tristan 1, that fight can go from this isn't going to take me too long to I wasted so much time.
And speaking of feeling like you wasted time, this is turning into a terrible RNG fest for the rpgchick, getting literally every status ailment in the game besides Petrification thrown at her from at least 3 toads. Meanwhile, Freddy goes ahead and again gets lucky on the fight and gets his EXP, dipping his way into Focus Tower now. Gets an axe for the chest there.
Yeah, he's weak now, so I guess he's checking that one item. Or, well, we got some extra checks, but going back to level 4 where he knows there's at least 1 red box. Not a bad play, because once you leave this area, unless you have exit, until you come back for the crystal, you really might not come back for it.
Yeah, Freddy's rewarded with a Charm Claw for his diligence, checking the other 2 chests in the top section here. Yields brown boxes, so nothing else good to get. Meanwhile, rpgchick also taking the same strat and dipping out of Bone Dungeon. Saying, see ya, we'll come back later, we'll life you to death. And just going to go ahead and fade all together and just dip out of here. Not even going to go check for the Charm Claw. That could come back to bite them later on, but we'll see.
Well, she didn't have the axe quite yet, so...
No. But instead, she's opting to go ahead and go into Aquarius, something that could play into their favor later on. If the exit spell is found, that time that's Freddy spent going back to get that claw could be a moot point. Also, Charm Claw is not too great of an upgrade from the Cat Claw. Dragon Claw is the one they really want.
Yeah, there are nice status effects that you add, but, I mean, you're probably going to, unless you know something's vulnerable to those, you're probably going to swing the Battle Axe. Or just use the bombs if you need the extra good damage.
Yeah, and it might look like Freddy's like ahead by 2 levels here. 2 levels really isn't that much of a level gate. Can easily be made up later in the game. So I'd say our runners are back on track to being about even with each other.
Yeah, early on, not so much. Like if we were talking, we were like the late teens and stuff. Yeah, 2 levels at that point, that's pretty significant. That's, you know, we're talking probably a minute and a half. But level 3 to level 5, that's.
Yeah, our main level gate is going to be at the end of the game. Almost everybody in the tournament has adopted level 20 strats just because of how brutal Dark King has been during this tournament.
Yeah, level 20, and if you have the Moon Helm, at least the Moon Helm, then the only thing you're really worried about at that point on Ben is Laser. There is our Dragon Claw, so yeah, that Charm Claw, a little bit of a time sink on Fred.
Yeah, we'll see how it's made up. Let's see what this vendor's selling. Elixir. rpgchick opting to buy the elixir. It is 200 GP, our cheapest vendor price, but 200 GP can also get you 4 seeds. So, you know, your mileage may vary, but if she does find a tree wither later, that will open up Kaylee 2-check, and Kaylee 2-check this tournament has been known to hold some goodies.
Yeah, Fred also picks up the elixir. I think it's one of those things you can remember it, but depending on where you find that tree wither, if you find the tree wither, if it's completely out of the way, you don't want to have to, like, I got to go all the way back to Aquaria to get this so I can do these checks.
Yeah, and so let's go ahead and do some math here. It's 500 GP for the Firebird check. Oh, there's a river coin. There is 200 GP for Aquaria and 300 for Windia. So that's about 1,000 GP to get our money from get our items from all of our vendors. Is that right?
Yeah, that sounds about right to me.
And then you at least want another 50 GP for at least one seed if you adopt duping strats. There's a Venus key handed in from Phoebe. I guess she didn't want to go talk to her grandpa herself, so she passed you along the key, so to make you do it. Exit spell has been found. This is now a race, my friends. About to see some wonky stuff teleporting all over the place.
Yeah, it definitely makes, this decision to go deeper into the Wintry Cave. I don't think we'll see either runner fight the boss potentially, but it makes this decision a lot easier. It doesn't take any time to leave now.
So, did you want to go ahead and talk about the mini boss changes before we get to the ones that actually have been adjusted?
Yeah. So the mini bosses, most of them are locking an item. Something's got moved, a major item. If it wasn't, like Dolahan, we do have multi like that. But items are behind there. Like the jumbo bomb Phoebe would give you in Falls Basin, you've got to fight the boss for. Dolahan has an item. One of the chests was actually moved that he wasn't even guarding under him to where it's like, well, we don't care about that. We care about every mini boss.
Yeah. Mr. Krabs has been moved to be sitting on top of his item gate. I believe beforehand the jumbo bombs were behind Mr. Krabs, or was it a different item? It's been so long since I played Vanilla.
Vanilla, no, that was jumbo bombs.
Okay. So, RPG, getting a little bit of divergence here. RPG Chick opting to go ahead and fight Squidite, not taking her chances on a mini boss, potentially gating her from go mode. Meanwhile, Coughlin making his way up to the battlefield before Ice Pyramid. Not going to be able to go deep into Ice Pyramid, though, because there is going to be the sword check required, though. Finds his fire resistance with the Apollo helmet. That is huge for the final fight.
Yeah, I think he was more going up there because of that battleground. Which, speaking of, we didn't actually go over that. Battlefields are randomized in this, so you're going to see 3 different colored battlefields. You're going to see potentially just the normal kind of greenish, you'll see the gray, and you'll see blue. The green one means they're going to get money for the reward. Gray is going to be experience, and blue means there is some kind of item there. With it being prioritized, we know it's some kind of major item. It might not be required, but we know it's a major item.
Yeah, it could be one of our go mode items, or it could be something benign like a dud check on like the base level sword or the base level axe or something like that. We have found all the claws though, so it can't possibly be any of those anymore. Coughlin has gone ahead and made his way to Fireberg now. Gonna go ahead and stop and get some more levels on the way. Really concerned about probably getting up to at least 3 charges with wizard spells before diving any of our major bosses. RPG Chick about to finish up cutting up this calamari. Pretty tough squid, a little chewy on here, but making decent progress. Ooh, and you hate to see the reward of a brown chest for all that work.
Yep. Honestly, I can't blame RPG Chick or Fred for taking the battlefields he has. They're only one fight, so you get one fight, and you might, especially if it's one of the big rewards like the 3,000 or 2,700 experience. That's a lot of experience for this early in the game. So.
For sure, and definitely not wanting to miss out any chances here. I can understand RPG Chick's decision to take on Squidite. I had a seed the other day. I last checked Doolyhan holding on to Thunder Rock. So any of these mini bosses, while not guaranteed to hold on to a go mode item, could potentially be sitting on top of one of those. And the last thing you want to do is spend 30 minutes checking everything else until you finally decide to take on that boss you were fading just to find out that they had your go mode. The Firebird vendor, I think, finally has a weapon or an item that's worth that 500 GP, giving out Excalibur, best sword in the game. What do you think, Link?
I mean, it's your first. If you already had a sword, I could see potentially skipping it just because, but the fact that this is your first sword, it gives you that access to Ice Pyramid if you want to go back to it. You're probably not going to right this moment, but the idea is it's there, and we get Flare.
Ooh, the Hermit holding on to some goodies. That is going to be key for endgame damage for Dark King. The only other spell that's really valid against him in terms of damage is going to be the White Spell. Not having run across that yet, but Flare serves just as good. All White and Flare cast cost the same charges anyways, kind of like spell slots in Final Fantasy 1 and 2, so really makes that worth it.
Yeah, where the White Spell really comes more to shine on kind of fights would be when we're looking at Twin-Headed Hydra. Resistant to fire, so you'd rather cast White than Flare. That's the big one.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'll go ahead and ask your opinion on this since you are one of our better runners in the community. and definitely have a lot of experience with the randomizer. When it comes to taking on the Hydra with these flag sets, would you take in, if you had the choice and you had free movement between the world, would you opt for Ruben 2 or go ahead and stick with Phoebe 2 for that fight?
I would usually go with Phoebe just because she's a little bit more healthy. Ruben does have the fire resistance, which helps, but Phoebe has the potential to outspeed, has more health. Cure is going to full heal you. She just brings I feel like she brings a lot more to the table for just losing that fire resistance.
Fair bet. I would probably opt for Ruben just to get through the fire resistance. The fire breath has not been kind to me this tournament, but again, that's just my own personal experiences. Coughlin looks like he's going to go ahead and go through the mines and upgrade our boy to Ruben 2 since Phoebe 2 access is not on the table. Pretty smart move. We'll see if Jin is mean tonight, though. The Genie has been known to give our runners a hard time this tournament.
Yeah, this is the one mini boss where you definitely know if you can get to it and you really want to fight it, you can, because he's potentially locking 2 priority checks. Guaranteed, the one that Ruben 1 will give you, which is typically the Mega Grenades in the vanilla game, but that also gives you the option to upgrade Ruben 1 to Ruben 2. But if you have the Mega Grenades, then you can also save Ruben's dad, which you talk to him and then he gives you something to do.
Indeed, and also gating 5 checks behind him. That's 5 potential red chests sitting behind the mean Genie. RPG-chick fading Fireberg altogether, decides to take Ruben in for a quick dip into Bone Dungeon. Gonna make a little quick work of this Rex. Blink and you miss it. Ruben's gonna go ahead and cast life on the poor guy, and he's gonna turn into a pile of rubble really quick. And I
do like this play because there are a decent amount of chests in here, and you have to do this dungeon anyways. You might find something that's going to help you out elsewhere. Like maybe you find the Mobius Crest or the Sun Coin, and you can go pick up Phoebe 2.
Yeah, Arrow Spell and Mega Grenades would also be huge for one of our runners to get here in an early peak. I forgot to mark off that Chick got their helmet. My bad. Nothing yet. A bunch of brown boxes here, check-wise in Bone Dungeon. We'll see if the Rex boss is hoarding them like the bone dragon he is, or if we're just going to go ahead and say bye, see you later after leaving. Meanwhile, Coughlin starts his fight with the Genie. Let's go ahead and see how meany this Genie really is, starting off with Flare. A miss with Excalibur, that's got to feel awful. I'd be so mad.
I've seen that happen, like going and fighting the little, if you want to call it a mini boss. We get Cure. But fighting the mini boss for Kaylee 1, it's like, I've got Excalibur, I'm just gonna swing and you just whiff, and you're just like, man, come on, this is like your time to shine. And
Cupid Locker, that's a huge find for the RPG chick. That's going to make status ailments a problem of the past. The only thing that they're missing right now is Gaia Armor and Aegis Shield, but Cupid Locker, I think, is huge, personally.
I feel like early on, Cupid Luck is the best just because that protection from confusion. Confusion, in my mind, is the worst status ailment because...
Same.
Petrify, yeah, your character's out and you're closer to wiping. But Confusion, you're actively actually working against yourself, more than likely, and that kind of hurts.
I've said it once and I'll say it again, chat. Phoebe 2 is the most dangerous enemy in this game. She can just end you. Ooh,
it's all fun. Oh.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's all fun and games until Phoebe decides to cast White on you.
Oh, yeah, no, then it's a dunzo. RPG chick showing off the full HP value of Rex. Smart move on our runners to go ahead and fade this fight. That's 3,000 HP you do not want to sit through with Tristan 1. And with no major forms of firepower to get through that, that would have been a very long and very arduous fight.
Yes.
Coughlin, meanwhile, looking to finish out the Genie here. We'll soon see what's going on and see what Ruben's about to hand out.
Probably doesn't have too much left. Probably not much left, but yeah, down goes the Genie. No red boxes, but Ruben's hanging on to a giant sack, so not anything really important.
No, nothing great, although I don't imagine RPG Chick is going to fade that fight either, unless they do. If they do fade the mines altogether, unless Ruben's dad's holding on to something important, this could be huge for the RPG Chick.
Yeah, that would be like, if you had access to Phoebe 2, it makes a lot more sense because Ruben 2 is nice, but if you can just pick up Phoebe 2 and just run through the seed and skip mine entirely, it is a big time save. but right now, no access to Phoebe 2 still. You kind of want Ruben 2 just because Ruben 2 is probably one of the biggest upgrades of just from the base character. He gets white. Phoebe 2 does as well, but when you go Phoebe, you expect it because she's got all these spells. Ruben's just got life. You don't expect him to have something like white, but he does.
Yeah, and he's honestly, he's a great addition to the party. Extra HP with the level 2, with the version 2 upgrade. The white spell does a good amount of damage. It's about 1,400 Ruben clocks in on every white cast.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, which when you're fighting a giant two-headed Hydra, is nothing to sneeze at. Coughlin, meanwhile, going to go ahead and take a dip back in their quarry. I'll be interested to see what the next play is. Maybe looking to get some crab legs fresh from the man himself. Nope, going straight into Pyramid now.
Pyramid, I mean, makes sense. You've got Ruben 2, so you don't have the magic mirror, so this is going to be kind of a little bit of a pain walking through.
Tin can for his troubles on that left check there, but he does have flare, so this is probably going to be like a 2 or 3 turn fight.
Yeah, it's still going to be an easy fight. I think I do like this. He's got the Wake Water and the Aegis Key, so after he's done here, he can use the Wake Water, and that's looking at pretend. You've got 3 checks, 3 priority checks. You've got Spencer and the chest next to him, and then you've got the Aegis chest itself.
Coughlin showing off some of the new strategies our runners have found for routing out peeking for Ice Pyramid. Whenever we refer to peeking, chat, it means that we're going to go ahead and position the camera to look at other chest positions to see if they are worth going to go check later. So when I say that someone's peeked a chest, it means that they can't quite get to that chest in this room, but they can check and see if it's worth going to go get. So far, nothing worth picking up that I have seen.
So I got a question for you when it comes to peeking chests. What chest is your favorite to peek?
Moon Helmet, for sure. I love being able to pick and just not have to do the jump over to the Mega Grenade spot. Yep. What about you?
The same. The two in Lava Dome, just knowing, like, because it always feels bad when you don't have Mega Grenades and those are priorities. You're like, I'm leaving 2 items behind. But being able to just look at it and be like, nope, those are brown. Cool. I don't have to come back here with Mega Grenades because you don't. You're literally, it's sitting in the back of your mind the entire seat until you hit go mode, or you feel terrible because you left them behind. And that was where go mode was.
Freddy picking up a Blizzard spell. Not something we want to see, but you know, a spell is a spell is a spell. A lot of enemies on the critical path here. Meanwhile, therpgchick having to deal with a couple of mean hits from Genie, getting one-shotted a couple times there, but is able to pick herself up with Ruben, no problem, opting for some defense strats there.
So one thing to note, that's the big difference between therpgchick and Fred on this fight. Fred did this fight at level 10, so he had 40 more health. A lot of Genie's attacks are hitting Ben for like 391. So Fred was surviving these, therpgchick is not.
Yeah, that level disparity is going to make this a little bit of a tough fight. I think therpgchick has realized that and is opting to fade the fight. Maybe going to opt to get some levels or just go ahead and make a sprint for Pyramid. Fred, meanwhile, about to take his deep dive into the Pyramid here. We'll see if there's any goodies on the way. Nothing in the treasure room. I do opt to go down just so I can peek the full room there, but taking right there doesn't lose any time at all. Rewarded with the moon helmet at the bottom of the cavern, though not very good. It's not out of the way either.
Yeah, I already had the Apollo helm, so it's nice. You won't find it later when you're looking for that one item, but yeah, I think especially when you're walking through Ice Pyramid, when you're actually on that floor, when you can't get to the chest, you can see the bottom chest when you're walking by. Technically, you already looked at them.
No goodies behind the sliding glass door either, so that's going to be good for our runners. therpgchick opting to go ahead and check the sealed temple. I don't think anybody's peeked in here yet. Nothing good.
It is Ben's time to shine.
It looks like therpgchick's having a couple decision moments here, opting to go for the XP here. And chat, do you want to melt a snowman? I love seeing that number. I will never not love seeing that number. It puts a smile on my face. You can't see it, chat, but I am grinning like an idiot over here at that 3,890 on that stupid snowman.
Yep, I think every FFMQR runner, when they get Flare and they have yet to fight this boss and they need to, that's just one of the favorite points of the seed is like, I get to go literally melt this guy. Like, it's the one time Ben is actually, he is the main character and he gets to play the main character. Other than that, he's usually the partners are there, but they're probably the main character, really. This time, no, Ben is the man.
Indeed. Now, it might seem like the RPG chick is a little bit behind here, chat. Do remember that they have finished Bone Dungeon. Fred has not yet doubled back to take care of that. So that divergence there is going to go ahead and skew our viewpoint on who's ahead of who a little bit here. Double levels there. You'll love to see it. RPG chick now more than powerful enough to go back and put down the mean genie. Meanwhile, Coughlin taking a dive down to Spencer's cave, feeling confident with the exit spell. I still hate doing this walk, but now only has to make half the walk of shame down to Spencer's cave.
Yeah, especially when there's 2 checks down here. I mean, it's really bad when you're checking just for Spencer, but when you got Venus Key, and it feels better. We got Libra Crest and the Captain's Cap.
Yeah, both really big items. Libra Crest, not as big as the Captain's Cap, because the Captain's Cap can be anywhere, but that does open up another key item check here, and some potential brown box checks in the Alive Forest. The enemies rewarded with the Mobius Crest, so that was huge.
Yeah, the Libra Crest went from, 6 out of 10 to 10 out of 10.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Ooh, I hate this battlefield. Yep. There's 5 fights on here. The reason we hate this battlefield, runners, is because even if you come in here with Phoebe too, this battleground, for some reason, I think has a 50-50 chance of just going to go ahead and ambushing you every time.
I feel like it's more than that.
Yeah, especially with these 2 enemies in particular. The double Medusa fight, for some reason, has an insanely high ambush rate. So not a fun fight to get confused on either, and those status elements don't make that fight any more fun.
Especially considering they've got Paralysis, Stone, and Confusion. They've got 3 of them. There's Paralysis. Ruben didn't get hit there, but yeah, that's when they've got. I mean, Vanilla they've got Petrify, so it's like you're already going in expecting to take a wipe. But yeah, this you really want to see the 2 genies, but nope, it's the Medusas are showing up still.
RPG check, if they do end up taking this battlefield and getting 5 genies instead of 5 Medusas, will make up a ton of time just not having to deal with that formation at all.
Yeah, thankfully, Fred's only been having issues with that first one where he kind of took the wipe.
Yeah, commentator cursed him.
Yep, I did the thing, and now Medusa's like, yeah, about that. We about to have some fun.
That commentator's curse is almost as bad as the status elements these Medusas are throwing out here.
Yeah. See, I had to say it, so we had to. Fred is a little bit ahead, so we had to, we have to even the score a little bit for drama, right?
Yep. RPG Chick has had their tough fights. Fred can't make it through this tournament without suffering. Chat. All of us have to pay our dues. I have also experienced my my slow, painful death at the hands of Paralysis during this tournament. It is not fun.
Final Fantasy Mystic Quest Randomizer giveth, it taketh away.
Indeed. Here's our double genies, though. Fire Breath is laughable compared to the 2 Medusas here. This is preferable, even if it is an ambush. RPG Chick now upgrading to Ruben 2. I'll be interested to see if they go ahead and go for Pyramid, though, or dip into Lava Dome. Meanwhile, Fred has been rewarded with the Sun Coin, which opens up Phoebe 2 right away. RPG Chick going to go ahead and looks like going into Aquaria, though. Opting to fade Lava Dome for last. Arrow is a good find in North Focus Tower.
Honestly, that feels really bad, though. You just got Mobius Crest, and you already have multi-key. You didn't actually need the Sun Coin.
Oh, true. But, honestly, if you hadn't made the check, you'd have felt bad about it. It'd been nagging at you the whole time, probably.
Yeah, it's hard to skip a priority battlefield because something's there. That would be one of the only battlefields I would consider, especially on 5, and just be like, it's potentially a major time sink, especially like right now, we're looking at, we need Thunder Rock and we need Mega Grenades. That's all we need for Go Mode now.
RPG Check making the swag jump there on the way down to Spencer's Cave. I love that new jump there. I haven't even considered making that until this tournament. And now we're retreading some steps just on the other sides of the screen here, chat.
Gets a Libra Crest and Captain's Cap on RPG Chick side. I'm sure it's going to be following that up with. We're going to go Libra Temple, going to get Mobius Crest, and I'm sure we're going to be checking the Aegis chest as well.
Now, an interesting routing difference here, though. RPG-chick opted to go for Libra Temple in Spencer's Cave prior to going through Ice Pyramid. Meanwhile, Coughlin has already finished Ice Pyramid before making those checks. Peeking Sealed Temple here, nothing of importance, so no need to go back and teleport there.
Yeah, I do kind of like doing these checks first, just because if one of them nets you that magic mirror, you potentially save so much time. You're not having to deal with the random encounters because you can't see where they are.
Yeah, it basically is like OG Final Fantasy random encounters going through Ice Pyramid without that mirror. RPG-chick not saving. So bold strategies going into this. This is going to be a headache at first, I imagine. So there's the paralysis. And there's the double paralysis.
There's the double.
And the slow, painful death. You hate to see it, chat.
The Medusas were nice enough to Fred when they did this. Like, all right, see, they did this. They're like, all right, we petrified you. Now we're going to encase you in stone. All right, let's start this over again. They're just like, no, we're going to make you suffer.
The whittling. There it is. Whew. You hate to see it.
Yeah. The one time you're like, I'm glad I don't have the Aegis Shield right now. I really am.
Yeah. Although you wouldn't be paralyzed.
That's true. You would have paralysis resistance. That is true.
RPG-chick gonna go ahead and just go fade that battleground, probably saving a lot of time in the long run, chat. Not gonna lie. This could be a huge dodge for the RPG-chick.
Yep. But yeah, into Ice Pyramids, so I am a little surprised. I mean, we've got all the tools realistically to go into Lava Dome, and there's a lot of chests in there, and it's required. It's a little surprising to see neither runner go there.
It could just be a lot of negative stigma behind the Lava Dome. Meanwhile, Freddy picks up Aegis Shield. That would have been huge about like 3 fights earlier, but you know, what are you gonna do? Rando gonna rando. But yeah, no, it could be the negative stigma. It could be the fact that Wyvern's terrible to fight half the time. It could be a multitude of factors.
It could.
Oh, there's the magic mirror, adding insult to injury. Freddy buys it out of impulse. Just
out of impulse, and you can see it on his face. He's like, I hate this game. This game.
The spite is palpable. I feel it through the camera. Now picking up the best partner in the game, in my opinion, Phoebe. That's a point of contention between some of us in the community. Other people are Kaylee 2 stands for life, but I'm a man of damage and a man of culture. So I appreciate Phoebe 2.
Yeah, Phoebe 2 is my favorite. Like, the petrification resistance on Kaylee's nice, but when Phoebe can just be like, you know what, I'm going to multi-cure and just top us off no matter what our health is, and white, and yeah, it's just like, sorry Kaylee, like, you're good, but you're not that good.
Yeah, I believe her base stat with magic is 90. Ooh, Fred taking a reset after seeing that encounter. Not something you want to see without mega grenades. That fight is nasty, mostly because you have to finally respect the enemies. They do have the reflect property on them. Freddy looking to run from this fight. Nope, going for the reset, not fighting that run there. Probably hoping to get some better RNG and get the other formation at that battlefield, which is 2 skeletons or 3 skeletons, or 2 skeletons and a fish. There's our triple skeleton formation. The other formation here is 2 skeletons and a fish, but the triple slimes there, you can't power your way through. You have to sit down and fight them dirty, and it's not fun.
Yeah, thankfully, you know, Dragonclaw, you got the chance of insta-death on them. Or petrification, either one of them works. I know they can die immediately to the Dragonclaw, but there's only a chance on it.
Ooh, Fred almost autopiloted into a death scenario there. Glad he backpedaled there for a split second. Opted to take those Dragonclaw stats from... sounds like you're taking your advice, but, you know, they're 10 minutes in the past for us.
Yeah, so, as you see, immediately kill. So, it's not quite as quick, but, it's, you know, if they don't have anything really bad and they're not ambushing you, it's not terrible. And you don't want to sit there and spend too long resetting, because eventually it would have been better to just take them.
Yeah, Chad, I'm a fan of 2 skeletons and a fish as a band name, too. I'd like to see that. And if they could be a Mystic Quest tribute band, that'd be even better.
I mean, the music can definitely use it. The music
for sure.
in this is amazing. So.
I pray every patch that we get a Mystic Quest patch for Final Fantasy 14. Every patch. One day it'll happen.
Ooh,
Ooh.
well.
the battlefield that you would want mega grenades on yields the mega grenades. So that's a huge find for Freddy. I think he's only a Thunder Rock away from go mode, technically.
Yep, that's it.
It's like... Otto didn't forget that he had the rock in his attic today.
Like, I need the Thunder Rock. It's like, okay, where is it? Go in my attic, it might be there. It's like, okay.
I don't know, upstairs maybe?
Maybe, but alright.
Yes. Freddy opting to go back to Fireberg instead of heading for P Tower. Check Sealed Temple is not rewarded for that. Only Brown Chest. Meanwhile, RPG-chick mops up the Snow Golem. My Blink Tiva's gone. That's how it should be. Dipping into Volcano here. I'm surprised neither of our runners did this sooner. Usually Volcano's a pretty dense check to get through.
And it doesn't take that long either.
Usually holds on to some good stuff too. Freddy being rewarded with Meteor for his fight with dual-headed Hydra. And dips, does not check the other floors.
Yeah, so this I like going back to Lava Dome before doing Pazuzu's Tower because you can get some levels. You don't have Gaia armor just yet, so a lot of what Pazuzu has it's really lethal to Ben, especially sitting at level 14. I mean, you know, depending on encounters on the way, maybe you get more health, but 560 health on Pazuzu, that's not what you want. Not with where Pazuzu can be right now.
Yeah, not even. Meanwhile, RPG-chick looks like they are going to go ahead and make their way back to Fireberg. I'll be interested to see if they go ahead and make the Phoebe 2 play or if they go ahead and stick to going to Lava Dome with Ruben 2. Neither would be a bad play at this point.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing right now, we've seen one of the boxes so far, that there's nothing behind the Mega Grenades. There's still 2 boxes. If there's something major, yeah, Steel Shield. For Fred, it doesn't matter. It'll be potentially RPG Cat's first shield.
RPG Cat. I love this cat sprite, man.
Oh, yeah,
there's the Tree Wither. So Kaylee 2 is now on the table for runners, and it looks like RPG-chick is going to go ahead and dive Volcano and potentially dive in the Lava Dome. We'll see the difference in the final fight here on Wyvern. If they do, this could be a pretty good balance of damage versus defense here. We'll see which one prevails.
It'll be interesting to see if because she already took one mini boss out of held nothing, so it'll be interesting to see if she decides to, or she's leaving just like Red, it looks like.
There's about 4 other checks to be made up the paths for Volcano, but it doesn't look like either of our runners think it's worthwhile. And for all intents and purposes, it hasn't been yet, though Thunder Rock is still on the table. It could be sitting in a box on the Volcano. We'll never know, chat, unless they're forced to go their last check.
Well, we'll find out one way or the other.
True. Both of our runners now making their way through Lava Dome. Coughlin in a slight lead. Neither of these runners is in for a hard time, though. Ruben looks like he's just barely not putting out enough damage to one-shot these encounters, though. That is going to be the difference you're going to see between Phoebe and Ruben here. Both of our runners are probably going to be making use of exit, like you saw Coughlin just do, to press that switch and dip out of this dungeon and make their way quickly to the second half.
Yeah, this is actually one of the reasons, especially when the scaling is where it is, why I like Phoebe over Ruben, is her white hits significantly harder than Ruben's.
Yeah, she does about 600 damage more per white cast than Ruben.
Yeah. And most of the things in here, like, they might be able to stand up to Ruben, depending on where they roll. They're probably not standing up to a Phoebe white.
Indeed. A little bit of input trouble there. I often find it's I won't say funny because that's mean to say, but it's definitely interesting seeing people come from the speedrunning community for Mystic Quest and then come into the randomizer and watching them kind of adapt to the changes in the controls we have. For those who don't know, chat, the randomizer has a built-in speed hack. Ben does not move this fast normally. He's moving at twice the speed here. He is schmoving. You speed ran Mystic Quest before doing the randomizer, right, Nicolai?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
I played it a bunch as a kid, so like I knew the game. But yeah, it's like I have not done a vanilla speed run at all.
Yeah, but the movement is kind of strong sometimes, Chad. We'll notice some of our runners get a little trepidatious on places where they could fall down, like we saw with Coughlin and therpgchick literally doing tap movement on Ice Pyramid Bridge to make sure that they don't accidentally overshoot shoot their inputs and fall down.
I feel like that's like a path of a runner is you do it as fast as you can up until the first point where you overshoot. And then you're like, all right, from now on, I'm tap moving. I'm not doing that again.
Never again. So speaking of tricky movement in dungeons and just struggling here, besides Giant Tree, because everybody hates that place, I understand. What would be your least favorite dungeon to navigate?
When I was a kid, Lava Dome, because I could not understand it for the life of me. But now it's Pazuzu. It's technically Pazuzu's tower, just because depending on where Pazuzu is, that place is a nightmare.
Respect. I think with these settings, I actually like Lava Dome. It's so dense. I think I've checked the spreadsheet, and it's like 40 to 50 checks if you're including every chest in this dungeon, and then it's so dense. It's hard not to come in here. Now, if you're doing vanilla checks, it's like, what, 3 red chests?
Yeah, and 2 of them are Mega Grenade blocked on top of that. So
yeah,
if you're not coming in there with Megas, it's only behind the boss.
Yeah, so for last tournament, a lot of runners would fade this place completely. Just say, no Lava Dome, you were last check only. And that's if I feel like last checking you. This tournament, though, I feel like Lava Dome is, no pun intended, a hot spot to go ahead and check just for the density.
Yeah, I mean, especially, and not only that, you know you need the boss. So it's not like if it was just completely random brown boxes, sky coins somewhere in the world, that you might not even have to come in here all the way to twin-headed Hydra or dual-head Hydra. You know the fact that you need the crystal, it's kind of hard to be like, no, I'll leave this one.
Now, an interesting thing I'll point out, chat, besides having the defense advantage with Ruben going into this fight for the therpgchick, they are missing the Aegis shield. So while they do have the fire resistance with Ruben, they do not have petrification resistance for phase 2 if that rolls. And I know go ahead.
I was gonna be like, Phoebe's still confused. Like, this is not what you want to see. I wouldn't be surprised to see like a heal coming out because he does have the heal spell now. But nope, it's good.
Yeah, not ideal. And I know I've mentioned that enemies' skills have been randomized in this tournament, but I have been seeing a lot of vanilla attacks coming out of our bosses. That one, though, is a shuffled attack. That paralysis move normally does not come out of our Hydra. Another bad news move for therpgchick, though. With only a steel shield equipped, Ben is going to be hurting a lot during this fight.
Yeah, no paralysis, no petrification. Phoebe at least has the paralysis resistance, so it doesn't have to worry about that as much. But
yeah, I haven't even seen a fire breath attack. Have you?
Nope, I haven't seen any breath, because typically we see like poison breath and or wow.
Wow, that was a very, very thin dragon, chat.
Yeah. I feel like that. I feel like that gives Fred a definite advantage on that.
Yeah, that's
with Phoebe and media coming from Ben.
Yeah, the Randomizer definitely has given Fred a huge advantage going into this fight. therpgchick is definitely going to be feeling the triage going into this fight with that moveset. Hopefully it doesn't give them too hard of a time. Meanwhile, Freddy on the way back to Mines. Looks like they're going to be saving Aaron just to make sure they get everything checked before leaving Fireberg, besides the top of the volcano.
It makes sense. You know it's a priority check. You know you're doing inventory at this point. Like, all right, this is how many items I still have left. What are the odds that it's the item I need? If you don't, you're going to the windy area where you're looking at having to full clear Pazuzu's tower. You don't find it there, then you're going in a giant tree. You're looking at Mount Gale. It's like none of these are very nice options when you have a item literally just sitting there. You know it's a major item. You know you're in an area, you might as well do it.
Indeed, and Aaron is the vanilla holder for Thunder Rock, so this could come in handy for our runners. Let's see. Gaia armor would have been nice to have prior to going into this fight, but it is what it is.
I mean, I think you're happy anyways, just because of the fact that you're about to go fight Pazuzu. That gives you the wind resistance, and typically Pazuzu's been rolling with at least one wind ability.
Oh, and I was mistaken, chat. The Hydra did not roll a paralysis skull formation. It rolled a confusion skull formation. Ruben doing work, though. RPG getting very lucky with that. Also getting very lucky with the fact that both of our runners had Cupid lock in here, so neither of them are going to feel the burn from this dragon's confusion and tactics. Ruben still has not freed himself of that confusion, though. That smack woke him up, though. He's broken out now, finally.
Yeah, it's like, I just got hit for most of my health. It's like, okay, I'm sorry. I'll do my job. It's like, that was a scary point right there, though. I believe, Ben, we're still missing. I think we're still missing Cure. Oh, wait, I believe we have Cure. We don't have
life. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so it looks like Ruben might be our meat shield while Ben brings the pain for this fight. RPG Chick opting to go ahead with Morningstar strats. I think he might just be trying to triage their way through this. Ooh, that confusion again, though. Ruben putting in work, though. Just saying, we're doing it, boy.
Yeah, this is scary right now, though. You're got to confuse Ruben. You don't have, and yeah, you're gonna have to do triage with Ben and just hope this works.
Yeah, my boy's doing work, though. He is putting in the pain. That is an instant death spray, chat. And if you ever see that circle formation of skulls with that spray sound effect, that's a one-shot attack. Again, this time it does take out Ruben, though. Though we know there's not a lot of HP left. It basically went from Form 2 to dead last time. One more turn. This could be it. Ooh, sleep spray. Come on. Nope, sleep spray. Oh my god, is it only sleep spray?
Nope. Doom Powder as well. There's Thunder Rock.
Oh, and Doom Powder takes her out. Meanwhile, Thunder Rock has been found, so Freddy is basically in go mode.
This would be another point where that guy armor would be really hand.
Yeah. Very mean. Although, a very, very nice Ruben. Ruben did a lot of work in that fight, and getting very lucky there.
Thunder Rock was on Kaylee too.
Yep. So for those who are not familiar with the game, Thunder Rock makes this nice little rainbow road here that lets you get to Spencer's Cave from the backside. And with Mega Grenades equipped, you can blow up the cave, free max ship, and essentially get your ship access to the end of the game, so long as you have the good captain's hat.
Which we've had that for a good chunk of time. So right now, the scary part is we still don't have life. There are a lot of checks here in Pazuzu Tower that you're going to walk by. If you see a red chest and you're missing life,
you hate to see it. Ruben now doing what Ruben is known to do best, and that is attacking the party. And with white in his inventory, that is even scarier. Good question here from the chat. Is the level target different since our runners do not have life? I would say no, honestly. There's a different strategy you take for the fight, and honestly, it's probably the preferred strategy of the entire tournament now, not taking any chances. But it is doable without life. Wild Ham pulled out a victory against another prevalent runner. I forget the name now. Who was Ham going up against? High Spirits. So Ham did pull out a victory against High Spirits in one of the matches by not having life at all, and just took a very defensive formation and one-shot the Dark King. So it is doable without life, though very, very, very scary.
Yeah, you just have to play a lot more safe. You're probably never doing something like both Ben and Phoebe are attacking on the same turn. Unless you want to play really, really risky.
Mm-hmm. My man Joker coming out and christening this race with his honorary Boo Lavado. You love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I think Lavadome, if you played it as a kid, it's just Lavadome just always felt bad just because it felt like a maze and you never went in the right door.
Yeah. That instant death breath is terrifying. RPG Chick now gets to the Wyvern, though. What was that? 2 wipes?
Yeah, it was 2 wipes.
Yeah, thankfully the second wipe was not a bad call at all. High Spirits popping in the chat. What a lovely comment. What a scrub. Loses to someone without life. I will say, life giveth and life taketh away. It really does change your mindset here. for this tournament, and it can opt you into some really defensive strats or make you emboldened to the point where you might be a little risky.
therpgchick, she is going to be going to the top of Volcano. We know there's nothing critical for go mode up there, but potentially maybe we find life up there. That's a big difference depending on what Dark King wants to do.
Yeah, if life is found up here, this could be a huge turnaround, especially if Freddy takes a wipe to Dark King. We don't know yet really how this is going to end up. It's anybody's game till the end. Even if Freddy finishes Pazuzu's tower first, King could just not be having it tonight and potentially cause a wipe. There's 2 red chests there. There's a Knight Sword out of the first one, something you don't want to see, and the Steel Sword. So all the swords have been found. Oh, and life is in Pete Tower. Freddy is in the right place. This kind of changes everything.
Yep, you can see how much you appreciate having life because you saw that reaction from Fred.
Yeah, I think it was the very first run I saw of this randomizer. I actually saw your race against Kedril, and life was in the shifting sand floor of Doom Castle. Life can literally be anywhere, chat.
Yeah, that was I know they did the seed ahead of time, so they like knew where life was, and they had planned that the whole time. It felt really bad because as we're going up, I'm like, man, I still don't have life. This is gonna feel really bad. And then I opened that chest up, and I was like, all right, I know they vetted this seed. They did this on purpose.
Yeah, chat. None of our tournament seeds are actually vetted. All of these are rolled about 10 minutes before go live. So what you see is what you get. Everybody's seeing this for the first time. therpgchick opts to go ahead and fight Medusa. I don't know what could potentially be gotten from this fight that'd be worthwhile.
At this point, nothing. I mean, there's really nothing because we know where Guy's armor is. We know where Aegis shield is. We know where they're literally there might be something, maybe white. Maybe white, but you don't really care about white at this point anymore.
Not when you're packing Flare and Meteor and Arrow.
Yeah, I mean, you beat Twin-Headed Hydra at this point, so that's, and you have Meteor, so yeah, it's like you don't care about white anymore.
Although we do get to see Baldusa, that's always nice for the chat.
This is true, but yeah, therpgchick probably not feeling great right now. Oh. Well, we have some petrification. Probably Stone Peak.
You hate to see it. Meanwhile, therpgchick gonna go ahead and do her Kaylee checks now. Is gonna be rewarded. What with though? I forget. I knew it was one of the pieces of equipment.
So Kaylee 1 is just the vanilla axe, so we don't care about it. But the Thunder Rock when we get back. So that elixir that we bought way earlier, that came in clutch.
therpgchick now finally checking that chest that she faded earlier and getting her Charm Claw. Not a huge waste of time though. This routing is also pretty optimal in terms of checking before going to Windia. So 6 one way, half dozen the other, chat. Meanwhile, Freddy still on phase 1. Not getting good luck with those petrification attacks. Thankfully, Freddy's at full health here.
Yeah, I think the only thing you really have to worry about at that point would be a sky attack, which just happens. But when Pazuzu's going to turn on his Psych Shield, if I'm not mistaken, he always goes last.
Indeed.
Even if Ben's not faster, which more than likely that's probably going to be the case, it should be okay. Ooh. PB sitting on 13 health.
Yep. Living on a hope and a prayer over there.
Hey, sometimes that's all you need. I feel Fred's pain when it's just like consistent, just petrification. Like,
yeah, if anything, it's just slow. It's nothing intimidating because Ben's at full HP. It's just an annoyance at this point. You're wasting a turn having to triage and pick up your lifeline.
Well, it's even like the bad turns. It's the turns when you can actually be casting spells and doing the damage. Not during Psych Shield. You're like, you want me to triage during Psych Shield? Fine. I can't really do big damage right now anyway. It's fine. Sky attack. We have Phoebe on auto, so Ben is up right away. We're going to get that flare. And then kind of here's what's the decision now. We got life. Really good there. Petrification on Phoebe, but the life comes in right afterwards and fixes that.
Indeed. Meanwhile, therpgchick moving on to pick up her Phoebe. Make her Did she pick up Thunder Rock yet? No, not yet.
No.
Yeah, there's the Gemini Crest. No longer relevant at this point. Gonna dip into the end, probably pick up Phoebe, check Kaylee, and then get the Thunder Rock. Magic Mirror slap in the face. Gonna go ahead and just save the money.
No, you can keep that. I don't need it anymore.
Indeed. And there's the Thunder Rock.
Alright, so RPG chick just megas from Go Mode, which are sitting right outside. Just needs to see the battlefield and run it, and that's it.
Yeah, nothing inside Grandma and Grandpa's basement. Gonna go ahead and build the Rainbow Bridge before leaving Windia. Probably a smart play.
Fred got in a little bit of a pinch. He got kind of lucky with what spells were getting used.
Yeah, living on the razor's edge with this fight. RPG Chick diving for some experience here. Yeah, it really does. Pazuzu, the other boss that has mechanics you have to respect here. Finally going down for Freddy, not without a fight though.
That is going to be the 4th crystal, which means as soon as this little cutscene goes through, Freddy's going to be rewarded with his Sky Coin, and he is ready to go fight the Dark King. At least item-wise. I don't know if he's going to pick up any levels or not. He is 19, which that's typically the low end of where most runners feel, I don't want to say safe, but feel okay going and fighting Dark King. I've been seeing runners more stopping at that 20. That's when you can survive pretty much everything outside of laser.
Mm-hmm.
Fred is just going to go. So.
Meanwhile, RPG Chick having to deal with this battleground out here. We do know that this rewards mega grenades, so it's not like they can go pick up another item and be rewarded for their diligence here. Freddy fading that red chest. We'll never know what's inside of it. Probably nothing good though. Can't be.
We know
good.
whatever's in there. Yeah, it might be Quake. Whatever it is, it's like it's not worth the time because you've got everything you want.
Indeed. It looks like Freddy's forced into a couple fights here. Could we get their level 20 here? Nope, not quite. Max Ship is also another great place for a last-minute fight.
Yeah, I'd almost be tempted to just kind of check my experience right now just to see where it is. And it's like if you're, 1,000 or so away from experience, you run by one of those random encounters in Doom Castle that's just, it's not in the way. It's like, take it because you're not going to complain about one extra level before Dark King.
Mm-hmm. RPG Chick now getting their Aegis Shield, probably feeling like that would have been really good on Wyvern, although didn't have a too terrible of a time. Ooh. I was going to say, better. Yep. If you warp out, if you use exit on that second section there, chat, you're going to be put on a little island in the middle of the ocean instead of being put back out to the overworld. So, for the best that they step back on that tile.
So Fred did check his experience. He saw 2,000. He did run by 2 random encounters. He could have taken those and probably got that level, but decided it's not worth the time. I'm going to go in at 19. We'll see if it pays off. Meanwhile,
RPG Chick stopping the save Norma. Doing a kindness and saving the little girl here, and Coughlin is on his way to the final boss fight here. Gonna go ahead and switch it over to Fred's audio so we can hear this glorious final battle music.
That's one of the only skills that you worry about in phase 1 is Iron Nail if you don't have any refreshers. Might be the only time you use refreshers in the game on a randomizer. Because that constant defense down, if he keeps using it, it can make especially Ben susceptible to things that normally he wouldn't die to later in the fight, like Spider.
Indeed. Speaking of Spider Kids, Freddy's risking it for the biscuit here. Not being at level 20 does put him in death threshold for a Spider Kid attack.
I think level 20 is the best level, probably, because you get one, you can survive Spider Kids, assuming you didn't get a defense down and haven't cleansed it, because dying doesn't actually fix it.
Yep. Looks like we've
the other thing is... Oh,
go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, the other thing, it gives you your 5th wizard charge as well, so you don't have to use Seeds as often.
Indeed, and it looks like we've rolled a pretty vanilla Phase 1 Dark King. That was about, what, 4 attacks?
Yeah,
not too bad at all.
I don't like seeing that. Because typically, in my history, when Phase 1 and 2 roll, like, really paper thin, the phases that you really don't like, they roll much higher.
Indeed. Dark King giving Fred the business here with those Thunder Swords, basically forcing triage. You have to respect that attack. It is the most damage you can attack Dark King can do in this phase, outside of doing AoE damage with Quake Axe. It is a nasty one.
Still making the way through Pazuzu and
Gets their life spell as well. Besides Gaia Armor, they are also all kitted out, though Gaia Armor is not too bad of a miss to have for Dark King. It is going to hurt on the Pazuzu fight.
I'm trying to think where Gaia
I can't remember. Meanwhile, Freddy moving on to Phase 3 of Dark King here. This is where things get very hairy. I'll be interested to see what strats are adopted by Fred here to get through this fight cleanly.
wouldn't be surprised to see a defense from Ben this turn. Oh, never mind. He has life, so he's good. All right.
Yeah, double life is also a good strategy to have here, especially when both party members are low on HP. Spider Kid's coming out, but Phoebe's preemptively on auto is going to go ahead and get that off, and Ben gets off the flare. Ooh, Silver Web on Phoebe is not something you want to see, but breaks out of it instantaneously. That is something we do like to see, chat. Though it does put Phoebe in a sticky place. Going to go ahead and opt for the life strats again, leaving Phoebe on auto. Gets a redundant turn off, but does go ahead and save some time by curing the poison. Every poison tick does cost a little bit of time for our runners here. Gets the bow off, something you don't want to see. Gold Web, this could be sticky, chat. There's like a 3 out of 6 chance. There's like a 50-50 here if Fred lives through this. He does get the good ending, though.
Yeah, I think it's 2/3 chance you survive that, because at that point with your level, you're looking at Spider Kids and Laser can both kill you. Everything else you're safe on. But
yeah.
Assuming you got the defenses that he does. Which he does.
Indeed. Meanwhile, therpgchick also getting the business from the Jerkbird. Not a lovely fight. Also doesn't have that Gaia armor. Is definitely making this a tough one to get through. Ooh, Laser. That is, again, Fred understanding the stickiness of the situation, preemptively casting that life. A good call. Phoebe below anything besides 100% life. I basically put that as a life cast in this fight. It is just that bad.
Yeah, and like the worst part is, and because this is what I've been seeing a lot as well, is keeping Phoebe on auto, because she basically just reacts to whatever Dark King is normally going to do. The problem, and it's what happened here, is for whatever reason, just every now and then, Phoebe decides, I'm going to go really fast, and goes faster than Dark King. And it gives Dark King the capability to go 2 turns in a row, which you don't want to see.
Yeah, another sticky situation for Fred here with that confusion. This could be a wipe if Phoebe decides to kill the party. Gets lucky with a Dark King kill, though. Goes ahead and puts Phoebe down before she can kill the party. And we're back to reset.
Best thing to happen.
Indeed. Freddy gonna go ahead and just leave it on auto strats here while leaving Ben to be your major damage dealer. Taking a Mega Flare on the right character this time, not having a hard time about it at all. Phoebe just cures that up. Doing a good amount of damage. 1902 is very good to see from Ben. It looks like our Dark King here rolled pretty light. Meanwhile, therpgchick does get through the Jerkbird and is making their way onto the final dungeon. Freddy, unless something catastrophic happens, is very close to GG's though.
Yeah, has to be really close. Yeah.
And there it is. That's time. So GG's the fcoughlin with a time of 1 hour and 5 seconds there.
Yeah, I know we were talking before we started that we haven't really seen the sub-hour. We got really close to it tonight, but
very close. A lot of our bosses and a lot of our enemies just did not want to make it happen, though, chat. And still no sub-hour here in this tournament. And it looks like we are joined by our winner tonight, GG's fcoughlin.
Oh, thank you. Whew. That was a scary, scary one.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. We were watching from the commentators booth, and myself and Lincoln have a lot of experience with the randomizer. You had some tricky fights and some not so good Medusa encounters up there on the battlefield.
Oh, gosh, those were annoying.
How bad did you feel when it just rewarded Sun Coin?
I mean, it was a great thing to find if I didn't already have Mobius Crest and the key to get down there, but it turned out to be convenient because that way at least I was able to not have to go back through Fireburg every time I wanted to head over there to get Phoebe 2 or to bring Kaylee home. I think those were the only two, but both those times I think I was coming from the Foresta area, so it ended up working out for me okay.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, some good luck and some not so good luck throughout the run. I did see Dark King treated you pretty nicely, and Phoebe opted not to kill the party both times she was confused. So great luck on that front. How did you feel about not getting any breath attacks from the Wyvern? It must have felt like it was your lucky day.
Well, it's definitely a good one there. I don't know if did it actually have breath?
No breath attacks.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't think so, but again, I wasn't sure if I just got lucky on my side. But yeah, that definitely felt good. You know, I was ready to just basically constantly go alternate heal with Phoebe and you know, get whites in if I needed to, but thankfully decided to be at least a little nice there, so I wasn't panicking about that.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like therpgchick having some technical difficulties here. It looks like there's some missed inputs there going down the sand slide. You hate to have it happen, but meanwhile, therpgchick probably is going to be making their way through this. I felt like you had a pretty vanilla Dark King HP wise. Is that how you felt too, Roland?
I think so. I mean, it's been a while since I've actually fought the Dark King actually vanilla, but it didn't feel like any of those phases were incredibly long. Like I've had some of those first rounds that go like 10, 15 wizard spells before it goes through, and none of them really felt too long relatively.
Yeah, so this should also be a pretty quick and clean fight for the therpgchick. A little bit of difference in routing here definitely gave you the edge in the race here. How did you feel about your routing overall? Were there any points where you felt like, oh man, I'm probably behind after making that check, or were you pretty confident all throughout?
A couple of my double backs to Foresta, I felt like that could have potentially cost me there because I was doing a lot of overworld travel in the early going. You know, I went back to check on the axe when I got that in the focus tower instead of going to get Phoebe, then going back so that way I could wipe out the dungeon at the same time. So, you know, that felt a little bit bad for me, especially considering that whatever I went back for wasn't anything of relevance, I think. And then, you know, just in general, I felt like there were a couple of times, too, where I think when I went into... I don't know if it was when I went into the mines or something else there, I just felt like, okay, I'm definitely doing a lot more walking than I should. Even though I was focusing on key items, but there were a lot of loose items that we needed as well, so... Overall, it wasn't bad, but... You know,
yeah, I bet getting handed that Aegis shield from Kaylee made that entire trip felt like it paid off in spades.
Oh, absolutely. Like, as soon as I got that, I'm like, okay, yes, we're feeling so much better now.
I cannot for the life of me, and Lincoln can't remember either. Where was Gaia armor again? I cannot... Was it
that was... Dang. Oh, that was Ruben's dad, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, it was Aaron. Okay. So yeah, Aaron handed out the Gaia armor. That was the only thing that therpgchick hadn't checked, and quite frankly, it is the least important piece of armor for the final fight, though huge for Pazuzu. I saw the Jerkbird giving you the business, though. How'd you feel about getting petrified like 6 times?
Oh gosh, that was so annoying with the bird there deciding to say, "Hey, I'm gonna go have some fun there with you." So yeah, that was definitely annoying to put it lightly.
For sure. Oh, therpgchick actually listed the Thunder Sword. That's the difference here, chat. And, you know, not disparaging Freddy's play because obviously he won the race, but that's the difference that 2 levels can make in this fight. Those 80 HP points can make the difference between living through an attack or not living through an attack. I think the only danger move that Dark King has at this point for the therpgchick is Laser. Everything else is livable with Ben.
Yep, that would be correct.
And so we make... Okay. While we make our way through arachnophobia, Lincoln, do you have any interview questions for Coughlin?
No, you kind of covered everything. I was just gonna say we kind of saw it on the opposite side when Fred was fighting the Jinn. much earlier, how he had 400 health and he was able to survive all of Jin's attacks, and RPG-chick went just one level lower but couldn't survive any of those attacks and kind of had to leave, come back after getting a level or two to survive all of those attacks.
Yeah, I gotta ask, how has HB routing been in particular, especially with Battlegrounds this tournament for you? Have you felt like you've been behind taking any of these dives into Battlegrounds, or you feel pretty confident going into each of those encounters?
Usually I've been not too bad. I've been trying to, actually that's probably part of the reason I did some of the walking that I did. I realized that I didn't want to go into mines until I'm about 10, or at least go to Ruben's dad. And, well, I don't know if I was a 7 or 8, but I was definitely low. So I was like, okay, that's why I'm going down and taking out Bone Dungeon. But then I went and, a couple of the other ones, that's why I take the things early. When I can, some of those battlegrounds. I'll take them later if I really need to, but I just honestly try to get the experience just from going from fight to fight once I get those initial levels to get me rolling.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I saw both of you were given the business by the trees in the Forester region in that very first battleground. That battleground has not been nice to anybody this tournament.
Yeah, I've been seeing some killer abilities that those trees have been getting.
Yeah, I haven't gotten your opinion on it. Being relatively new to this randomizer, how do you feel about the enemy attack shuffle that we put on the tournament this year?
I've been liking this version. I mean, I don't like, having to, when, oh, look, well, I mean, I don't think anyone likes, hey, Pazuzu, let's go duplicate ourselves into triplicate and go kill things. But, I still like the fact that, the Dark King's vanilla. I like the fact that, most of the other bosses are still pretty close to themselves. Because honestly, if you get a Pazuzu who's throwing a bone meringue at you, it takes some of the drama and excitement out. So this has been a really nice balance, I feel like.
I will say, how dare you talk bad about my stan of the Stupid Sexy Bird boy band. They are the up-and-coming K-pop band in the area, I'll have you know.
Fair enough.
I'm kidding. I hate seeing that too. I've had it happen too many times. Thankfully, we did not change it to Chaos. We almost talked about making this Chaos Randomizer for this tournament, in which case you could see a duplicating Dark King. His graphics bug out. Fun fact.
I have seen that in the past. That is something.
Oh yeah, no, I think the first time we had it happen on stream, he turned into a mountain range.
I think I remember that the one time that I did a seed with that, and then was like, yep, nope, that's just not happening.
It's a fun time, but yeah, no, I think these seed settings are definitely interesting. RPG. Yep, that's time. I was about to say she's got to be close, and there it is. That's time for the RPG chick, coming in with a final time on racetime.gg of 1 hour 8 minutes 23 seconds. GG's to the RPG chick. GG's to Coughlin. Let's go ahead and see if we can get RPG chick in here for an interview. We'll interview both of our runners and go ahead and see if a second race time has been picked out.
I don't think we've been able to talk about that just yet, so.
No, but GG's RPG chick.
Thank you. That was, that dual head can definitely go heck left.
Oh, yeah, no. How did both of you feel getting the Aegis Shield after that fight, by the way? I've been meaning to ask. Did it feel like a slap in the face? It's like, oh, now you show up.
I mean, I was still happy to have it before Dark King, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think that's everybody's thing. So I'll go ahead and run some of the questions by you that are ran by Freddie. How did you feel overall about your routing in the seed? I know you took a couple of battleground dives and a couple boss dives that really felt like a struggle or a little insurmountable. Did you feel like you were getting behind at that point, or was like, hey, Freddie's probably going through this too? Or what was your thoughts going through that?
I definitely started to feel behind in like the 5 battlefield ground one that had the item by the lava dome. I didn't even bother going back to it. I'm like, forget it. It's not worth it.
Honestly, probably for the best. It was the sun coin. So you faded access that you already had to Windia. Jury's out on whether or not that would made things faster or slower for you. You obviously knew your way to get to Windia in the first place from Fireberg. So the rest of us just kind of came through routing and playtime. I think the only thing that you didn't get that Freddy got was the Gaia armor, and that was pickup from Ruben's dad.
I didn't have the mega grenades until like the very, very end, so.
Yeah. So honestly, not the worst thing to fade for Dark King. How did you feel taking on Pazuzu without the Gaia armor, though?
I mean, I knew what I was going to get into if he still had wind. I mean, at least it wasn't a complete one-shot, so...
Yeah. I will say both of you got incredibly, I don't know if I would say incredibly lucky, because he had some other moves too, but throwing a curveball, to say the very least, on that dual-headed Hydra fight when he just kind of busted out phase 1 with none of his vanilla attacks, no fire breath, no paralysis breath, no poison breath, just a different moveset altogether. How'd you feel about that?
I mean, he made up for it by Doom Dancing Ruben when I had him in the last stage in the first one.
My heart sank when I saw that. You were
he had
right
Doom
there.
Dance?
Oh yeah, no, he had Doom
no.
Powder. He had Doom Powder.
Same difference, but
Yeah,
same thing. And it was like I heard the spray and I saw the skulls. I'm like, no, not like this. And then Ruben keeled over.
I was like a meteor away, and it's so aggravating.
Yeah, relatively skinny enemies this seed. How'd you guys feel about that?
I wasn't complaining, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't ever complain about fewer HP bosses.
I mean, with all the struggles and the trials and tribulations you guys have gone through with qualifiers and the round 16 matches, it almost feel like a breath of relief. It's like, oh god, Wyvern died in less than 50 turns. Let's go.
Well, phase 1 of Pazuzu was still pretty heckin' tanky though, but
he
went real fast after that.
For sure.
And he kept saying, "Hey, Phoebe, Phoebe, you feel like doing your best statue impression for a couple of turns here?"
Oh, I didn't have that issue, but just Hebinks knows about that controller also, because I was having trouble with it at Limit Break. It's finally time to change it. I mean, you saw what happened at the end. I completely lost my input in the sand.
Yeah, no, I saw that. I was like, that does not look like something organically happening from stress or nerves. That looks like a controller problem. And it looks like I called it. That is unfortunate, to say the least, but, you know.
It's annoying, but I was already... Fred had already beaten Dark King at that point, so at least it wasn't as big of a deal.
Yeah. So, we'll go ahead and get some final thoughts from you guys. Fred, we'll start with you. Anything that you want to bring up, anything you're concerned about going into match 2 here, anything you thinking about changing up or maybe switching around in terms of checks going into match 2 here?
I mean, just got to follow what the seed's telling me. It's what pretty much the lesson I've learned from pretty much any of these randomizers that I've done. You gotta pay attention to that. So I'm just gonna try to keep going with it and hope that it works out. I mean, RPG here is incredible. They've got so much knowledge about this game. They know exactly what to do and where to go. Hopefully they'll get the new controller before our next match, so that way we'll be on level footing. But yeah, I mean, it's an honor getting to play them because of how long we've known each other. So looking forward to... Oh, I mean... Well, not really flattering you. I'm not dropping any anvil on you to press you down or anything like that. Just, no... But
thanks,
no,
Dad.
yeah, I have to do them sometimes. But as I said, it's an honor getting to play URPG, and definitely look forward to match 2, and hopefully we'll have another fun one here. Any
tentative time frames we can go ahead and let Chad in on when that match 2 might be?
No, I got a little distracted because my mother-in-law basically came in tonight and she's going to be here for a few days and I'm not sure how long. So once she feels well enough to go home, then we'll schedule our next match.
Yeah, well, thankfully you do have all week. So you heard it here first, Chad. If you want to find out when the next match is, you're just going to have to join the Discord. You can find a link to our Discord at ffmqrando.net, where you can start generating your own seeds. And if you feel a little intimidated by the randomizer, don't worry. If you join the Discord, we do have a new player room curated by yours truly with some sourcing from our lovely, lovely community. Sir Linkalot's made a lot of contributions there. RPG Check, any final thoughts before we go ahead and wrap it up for the night? Any shout outs, anything you want to go ahead and say before we wrap up?
As always, to thank you, Hebinks, and Linkalot for the commentary. Thank you for tracking as well. I believe you both did tonight too, yeah?
Yeah.
And of course, Fred, for always giving a good match, even during the qualifier there. So hopefully I can find a better controller in my stash, and we can have a game 3 going on for some excitement.
For sure. And Link a lot. Any final thoughts? Thank you again, by the way, so much for joining me on commentary. It's been an absolute joy having you as a co-commentator tonight.
Yeah, no, it was a great race. Like we said, we were hoping. We talked about we hadn't really seen a sub-hour scene. We were getting down to the wires. Like maybe we see it, but a few seconds short. So we still got plenty of races though. So maybe we'll get to see that sub-hour still. Before
Yeah, we still have the rest of round 8, the semifinals, and the finals. Maybe, just maybe, we'll see a sub-hour seed this entire race. So, Chad, I do want to go ahead and wrap it up and give Speedgaming Live their channel back again. GG's again to both of our amazing runners, fcoughlin, therpgchick. I've gone ahead and thrown links to their channels in the chat. Go ahead and give them a follow. And if you want, ever so kindly, throw me, Hebbings, and Sir Link a lot also a follow if you enjoy what we brought for you tonight. Go ahead and join the Discord. It's a great time. There's a bunch of lovely people, and you can go ahead and get a sneak peek on some of our other matches coming up. Speaking of, I believe our next scheduled match, let me go ahead and pull that up here because I have that access as a moderator. Let me go and take a look here. So our next match is going to be not tomorrow, but Tuesday, and we have 2 matches. We have Chandigan versus Farfalu at 7:30 p.m. East Coast time. Undecided on which Speedgaming Live channel that's going to be on, and then we have a match between Freddy 3 and K and myself at 8 p.m. East Coast time on September 12th. 2 great matches, if I do say so myself, coming up for you. But with that, we are going to go ahead and turn it over to Speedgaming Live. It's been an absolute pleasure having you guys chat. Look forward to hearing about Game 2 from you, Coughlin, and therpgchick. Final GGs. And I think that's going to do it for us tonight. Y'all have a great night. Take care.